Hello, welcome back. It is Amanda. We're here with a collection. No. We are, by we, I mean me, going to film the All About My Eyeshadow Palettes tag. I think that's what it's called. This tag was created by Samantha March and Allie Glines. I'll have their videos and channels linked down below. And if you're new, hello, my name is Amanda. Eyeshadow palettes are my favorite makeup product. I can very easily justify a lot of eyeshadow palettes. So this is perfect for me. We have a bucket of eyeshadow. The questions, I'm going to list the questions in the description box, so if you want to answer them, please feel free. If you have a channel, you can do the video, let me know, I'll watch your video. Yeah. Or if you just want to answer them in the comments, that's fine. The questions first, show your newest palette. That could be an entire video. I've purchased some palettes in the last few months. I'm blaming all of the sales and the fact that I can't go to stores. I had one in here and then another one came yesterday, so I'm just going to show you both of them. You'll also see them in an upcoming haul. The first is the Viseart Dark Edit palette. Look at how little this is. I did not know these palettes were this small. This is the, I think this was $39. I did purchase it from the Sephora sale. I thought that I was a VIB, and apparently I'm not anymore. I'm just the regular Beauty Insider. So I only got 10% off. Anyway, I have used one Viseart eyeshadow palette before, and it was fine. It didn't like blow me away. It was one of the 6-pan ones, and it came in a Beautylish lucky bag, but it was like straight up neutrals. So that didn't excite me in any way. So I wanted to try this one. This is the Dark Edit. It has beautiful like packaging. Look at how tiny the little pans are. They're so little. I have used this once. It's really nice. I just have such a hard time justifying the price of this when I have $12 ColourPop palettes that I love just as much. I wish there were a way for me to use shadows without knowing what brand they were and comparing them that way, because the price always gets in my way. I do think it's really pretty and I'm going to keep it and use it, but I'm just not obsessed with it, you know? I have only used it one time though. We'll see. And I did really like how the look turned out, but you know? Yeah. The other one just arrived yesterday. It's actually the brand newest. And that is my first palette from Melt Cosmetics. They were having a sale for something. I don't even know who's having sales for what. There's just always a sale online now. I don't know. And I've wanted this palette for a very long time, since it came out, and I've never tried anything from Melt Cosmetics, and that is the Gemini palette. There's like motorcycles and people going crazy everywhere, so I don't know, there's just people idling down the road. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, the Melt Cosmetics Gemini palette, I mean, you've seen it, but oh, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's larger than I thought it was. I thought it was going to be, you know, a little shorter. Not that it really matters, but it's just larger than I thought it was. And the pans are larger. But, oh my gosh. This color scheme just, it almost hurts. It's so pretty. And I'm really excited to dig into this one. If I ever get time to film any sort of get ready with me, it will most likely be with this or any of the other palettes that I've purchased. I need you to promise me right now that when you see that haul, you will not judge me. The next question is, show us your oldest palette, and it is the OG Urban Decay Naked palette. Mine has seen better days. It actually doesn't look like I've used it a ton. I did use this for a very long time. I haven't used it in a while. And I just can't part with it. It's not even that I love this palette, I just can't part with it. You know, this was my very first high-end eyeshadow, any high-end makeup, anything that I ever purchased. And you can't get this one anymore. It's just kind of sentimental that way. I just can't get rid of it. So this is definitely my oldest. It's show your most expensive palette. And this was kind of tricky because I don't spend more than, I would say, $50 on an eyeshadow palette, and I definitely don't like doing that even. So the most expensive palette in my collection is that one that I paid full price for. It came in a BoxyCharm. This one retailed for $55. This is the Storybook Cosmetics Fairy Tales Little Briar Rose palette. It looks like a book. It's completely beautiful packaging. But I didn't pay $50 for this. It came in my, or $55 for this. It came in my BoxyCharm. The next closest palette that I'm pretty sure I paid very close to full price for, which was about $50, is the Color Drain Queen of Hearts palette. The one I really need to pull out and use more. It's absolutely beautiful. The quality is lovely. And I think I did pay full price for this because I wanted it, and then they sold out, and then they said they weren't bringing it back, and then they said that they would restock it, and then it became, anyway. So I did pay full price for this, but I think that is the only one that I paid that much for. I think. I was trying to go through all of my palettes, and I don't have any, you know, large Viseart palettes or anything like that, so I don't have any Pat McGrath or Charlotte Tilbury. Show your most affordable palette. That would be easily this guy from e.l.f. The e.l.f. Bite Size Eyeshadow in Carnival Candy. I really want the green one, the jalapeno, whatever. This is really pretty. e.l.f. eyeshadows are quite nice. This formula seems to be really good quality. This is the only one that I have in this line, but this is my most affordable at $3. Show your everyday palette. I don't really have an everyday palette. I like to use a lot of different eyeshadows. If I'm going to quickly pick something with minimal shades to use, it would probably be the ColourPop Sweet Talk palette. I really like this color on my eyes, especially if I have no time. I usually just blend this meadow color all over my lid and call it good. Or any type of color like this that's gonna add a lot of color but not take a lot of time. I don't necessarily have one that I reach for every single day though. That's not me. Okay, the next one is show your most colorful palettes. I mean, I pretty much don't buy a palette if it doesn't have a lot of beautiful color in it. But the one that came to mind was this guy from Makeup Revolution. This is the Forever Flawless Birds of Paradise. I mean, there's not a neutral to be found palette. I actually haven't used this one yet, but the Forever Flawless line from Makeup Revolution is by far my favorite of any of their eyeshadows. And I believe that these are their original ideas. They're not their dupe palettes. I don't really care for their chocolate dupe palettes. I don't really care for the quality of those, but I have several of the Forever Flawless palettes and I love them. I think this is a new one. I purchased this at Ulta, I think in the fall, and it was a palette that was in the section of stuff that isn't on clearance but they're not going to be selling anymore, and so I did not know it was a new palette, but I'm seeing it pop up on the Ulta website and people talk about it, so I don't know how that Ulta got it so early, but I bought it months and months ago. I should probably use it. Show your smallest palette. So I initially thought that it was going to be this guy from e.l.f. and then I thought, wait, I have this little guy from Lorac, the Golden Eyes palette, the Lorac Hollywood Glamour Rachel Zoe collab, and these shadows are 0.18 ounces. The e.l.f. are 0.12, and then I thought, wait, what about this one from ColourPop? This is the Make Up Your Mind, and these are 0.7 0.035. So even though this definitely looks bigger, this is by grams the smallest palette, the smallest physical palette. I mean, probably this because it has 4 shades and this has 6, but these were pretty small. So however you want to decide about that, you know, kind of 3 options for you. Technically, this guy is the smallest by grams. This is the shortest, and this is the fewest shadows. Lots of options. Show your biggest palette. I thought that was going to be my So Jaded palette. I don't really like large palettes. This is as big as I like to go, pretty much, and even this isn't as big as it looks online. When you see people hold this up, it looks huge online. It's not that large in person. It's a little larger than the Lorac Mega Pro palettes. It's a little bit bigger than that. But then I pulled out this guy, which I forgot I owned because it's so big that I never use it. And that is the Juvia's Place The Masquerade. This is the full-size one. There is a mini one. I wish I had known that when I purchased this because it is so big I don't really use it. The colors are beautiful. I mean, I've used it a few times, but it's just for storage purposes. I just don't like this is just too big, you know? And I have so much eyeshadow, I'm never going to use these pans up, so the mini would have been perfect. But it feels so wasteful to declutter this and buy the mini to have these, you know, that's just not being a good steward of my money. So, or with my money. So here it sits. But it's bigger than So Jaded. Show your palette with the best memory. That's probably going to be this little guy from Mary Kay, actually. These were the colors that I wore on my wedding day. Yeah, colorful me. Were these boring old colors on my wedding day. I don't know what they're called. And you know what, we probably use this little brush to apply them. I didn't know. Show a palette worth the hype. And this might be cheating because I've only used it one time, but I loved it. And then I used another from this brand one time and I loved it. And those were the Kaleidos Futurism palettes. These are the only 2 I have. I have Futurism 4, VR Neon, and then the other one is, I think it's 1. Something sci-fi green or something. I really loved both of them. This is more colorful. The formula is just wonderful. It blends beautifully. The glitters have a little bit of fallout, but nothing that's, you know, outrageous. It's beautiful. Show a palette not worth the hype. This is always tricky for me because I have used Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows, I've used Pat McGrath eyeshadows, and I've returned both of them. I didn't think that they were worth the price, in my opinion. That being said, everyone has different expectations, things that they're looking for in a shadow as far as performance, color range, you know, there's so many different things. So for me, the one that I'm going to choose is the Zoeva Caramel Melange palette. I think that people love Zoeva, and this is the only palette I've tried from the brand, so I can only speak to this palette. I just didn't think it was, you know, mind-blowing. The mattes are really nice. The shimmers were like extreme duds. They barely showed up on my eyes. I'm aware that the colors are mild colors, so I kind of want to try a palette with darker colors to see if I like that better. This also isn't my ultimate color palette. It's just not. And I just think that it wasn't as good as everyone was making it out to be. I did really enjoy the mattes, but the shimmers, you know, that was a pretty big disappointment to me. So I think another that is not worth the hype, in my opinion, are any from Morphe. Morphe's like, you know, one of those controversial brands. I just think if you're looking for an affordable brand, ColourPop is a far better option as far as color selections, pricing, just in every way. I just prefer ColourPop. I do have a few from Morphe. This is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe, what are you called? Armed and Gorgeous palette. I think that the colors are pretty. I think that they're fine, but everyone talks about Morphe like it's life-changing, and I just don't find that to be the case. Drama aside, this was, you know, I used to have some of their larger palettes, like 35F or O or whatever they were called, and they were average at best. Show your favorite palette from a favorite brand. One of my favorite brands is ColourPop, of course. That could be any palette from ColourPop. I thought I grabbed another one, but I really do enjoy the So Jaded palette. I love all of the colors in here. There are 2 pressed glitters in here, which I don't use on my eyes, but you can use them on your body or your hair or whatever. But the rest of the colors in here, I just love when I use this palette. I love how my makeup turns out, and I think that it is just a beautiful palette. Warm tones, cool tones, neutrals, mattes, shimmers. It's got a little bit of everything. And then the last question is, show your most used palette. And for me, that's the palette with the most noticeable wear in it. And part of that is because I'm doing a Pan Those Shadows challenge. So this one has a large amount of pan in it. And that is the Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette. I wouldn't even say this is a favorite palette, but it does have, you know, a lot of pan here. There's noticeable wear in the bronzy shade down here, and then on a lot of the other matte shades, so it definitely looks the most used, even though it's not even a favorite palette, which is kind of silly, but it's the most used. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your answers to any of these questions. I'll have them listed in the description box, and you can just copy and paste them into a comment if you want. Be sure to check out Samantha and Allie's videos and channels, and subscribe if you have not already. If you have any questions or comments, video suggestions, leave those in the comments down below, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video.